Okay, good morning. Hola, hi. Okay, where do we really start? I am Tarali and I live in Pune, Maharashtra. Mm, well, why am I really here to speak to you? Mm, I don't know why, but I think from the time I was a little child, I always believed in something higher, just not what we see at the surface, what humans are, but some sort of magical forces that really exist in this entire world, and I sort of have, experienced it mm, like many times. So I have this very unique sort of faith in the higher force. Of course, we call the higher force as God. I think that's the most commonly used word amongst us. Mm, why am I speaking about it today? So, there have been times in my life where I have felt completely lost, and I'm sure many of you have, right? And those are times when we just forget, just we leave the higher forces, God, trust, and all of those things aside, and we also forget that we as human beings are also powerful. We actually find ourselves rather useless and weak, and we tend to give up. We tend to think, literally it's the end of the world, and I think psychologically it is termed as depression. And yes, I have been through those phases as well, and um, I wouldn't say I regret it, because today when I really look back to those times, I feel um, those times there was something within me which was still with me at that point in time, and possibly the higher force as well, um, our souls which are connected to the higher self. So even if somehow our mind and our belief system had possibly um, not really been with us at that moment, had you know uh, basically we wanted to give up on life, but there was this soul, the magical power, the higher force, which didn't really allow us to, and somehow we kept moving forward. And now I think that is what many of us term as strength. Yes, it is strength. Um, but that's not something which is coming because, um, you know, we want to prove something to the world, or we want to show to people that we are survivors. It's mostly an inner force, something which really comes from within, you know. So we connect to ourselves, and we just figure out what is that we really are authentically. And it's so amazing because imagine when we were born, we did not have any sort of belief system altogether, or we did not have any sort of thought. But over the period of years that we have lived, the circumstances that we have lived in, and the various people, our friends, our family, teachers, educational institutions, and colleagues, and everybody that we meet along our way. Mm, we sort of, start believing in things in a different manner, and we have this belief system. So, ironically, whatever is in the belief system becomes our reality of life. And we tend to say sometimes life is cruel, life is complicated, life is tough. But yes, when I think about those depression phases, maybe for a moment, even I would term life in a similar manner. But again, when I really think about what life is, the moments when I get to connect with myself, either when I'm meditating, or I get to connect a little more deeper when I'm possibly spending some alone time. It just gives a different perspective altogether, and I realize life is indeed easy. It isn't, something that we think is so difficult, so bad. It's indeed something which is amazing. What is life? Something which is meant to live. We are meant to live. We are meant to have fun, enjoy, explore. That's what life is all about. And it's just that, I wouldn't say it's unfortunate, but it definitely is all of those thoughts and beliefs that we have acquired over so many years, and which are in our subconscious and our unconscious mind, and they form some or the other sort of reality. It just gives you, it gives us, a repetition of those things, recurring in our world, which becomes, altogether reality. I think possibly, I don't really have to say, but we all have heard that um, thoughts lead to belief, and belief lead to actions, and of course actions and behaviors are what our reality is. So imagine having a change thought. um, Imagine, you know the moment when we actually feel that frustration or that anger, and it comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere, we don't know where. But it just, you know pause for that moment. Yeah, accepting the emotion is crucial, because we can't fight back. We can't say no, it's not valid, because it's valid. It's indeed valid. um, it's an emotion after all, and as a human, we have every right to feel it. But when we take a step back, and we just, think the thought that actually led to that emotion, um, we possibly would realize, if that thought could have been refined in our mind, maybe we would have felt a more neutral emotion or a different emotion. So, and it's basically more like something, you know discipline of thoughts. Yeah, or rather, how, for example, we would say, to have this sort of body, or to have this sort of health, we need to do, you know we need to exercise regularly, we need to eat healthy food, and so on and so forth, right? So sometimes, to have good things in our reality, I just feel that, if we consciously make an effort to change the thoughts which really bother us, life may give us things in a different manner. So why do not just give it a try, right? I started, I did indeed in the last couple of months, and to be really honest, I feel better. I feel much better. The way I used to perceive some of the things in my previous years were different, and I wouldn't say I've completely changed, because my past definitely is a very important part of me, and adore and I love every bit of my past, and I sincerely have no regrets, for everything that my life has turned out to be. I indeed am very grateful for who am I today. But at the same time, if we want different results and we want our reality to be possibly a slightly different, then maybe what we can try is change our thoughts a little bit and just see how it really goes. You know, just maybe play along and see if we actually can create our own realities. It's interesting, in Hindi, I think there's this famous phrase, Shabd Brahma. Shabd, Akhmiyat, we say it, Habd Brahma. So, Shabd Brahma hai, and in Arabic, abracadabra. So, these I create as I speak. That's what abracadabra means, and maybe some of these have real meanings. And yeah, it's a little philosophical, but at the same time there is science of the mind related to it, science, psychology, of course, because we're talking about all thoughts and emotions, and yes, a very important part, the spiritual part of it, is associated. So I would say it's a combination of everything put together, but yes. Okay, I haven't really made any sort of a video before. This is my very first one, and I hope you like and enjoy it. And it this video leaves at least some sort of small positive change. You know, I'm sure you guys are leading great lives altogether. I'm sure all of you are. But in those difficult times, what we call it difficult, if we are able to utilize even possibly a percentage of what you know, um, we just were discussing now, maybe it can just help. It can just help. So yes, happy Saturday. Today is Saturday. I'm recording this on the 2nd of May, 2020. And all right. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Adios.